Deuteronomy 14. You are the sons of the Lord your God. Do not cut yourselves or shave your foreheads on behalf of the dead, for you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord has chosen you to be a people for his prized possession out of all the peoples on the face of the earth. You must not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals that you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. I'd love to try some ibex someday. Verse 6, you may eat any animal that has a split hoof divided in two and that chews the cud. But of those that chew the cud or have a completely divided hoof, you are not to eat the following: the camel, the rabbit, or the rock badger. Although they chew the cud, they do not have a divided hoof. They're unclean for you. Is any guys, when I read this, I just want anyone to point out to me at any point in these passages I'm reading and about to finish reading here in chapter 14, if you see a statement that says these dietary instructions are only until Yeshua arrives, let me know. I haven't found it yet, but some people seem to think that it says it somewhere in there, and I'm baffled by it. So if you see it, point it out to me. But otherwise, I've never been able to see anything that says that all these dietary instructions are temporary and will all be null and void once Yeshua arrives. So yeah, if you see that, let me know. Being sarcastic. Verse 8, as well as the pig, though it has a divided hoof, it does not chew the cud. It's unclean for you. You must not eat its meat or touch its carcass. Of all the creatures that live in the water, you may eat anything with fins and scales, but you may not eat anything that does not have fins and scales. It's unclean for you. You may eat any clean bird, but these you may not eat: the eagle, the bearded vulture, the black vulture, the red kite, the falcon, any kind of kite, any kind of raven, the ostrich, the screech owl, the gull, and any kind of hawk, the little owl, the great owl, the white owl, the desert owl, the osprey, the cormorant, the stork, or any kind of heron, the hoopoe, or the bat. All flying insects are unclean for you. They may not be eaten. But you may eat any clean bird. You are not to eat any carcass. You may give it to the foreigner residing within your gates, and he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner. For you are a holy people belonging to the Lord. You must not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. You must be sure to set aside a tenth of all the produce brought forth each year from your fields, and you are to eat a tenth of your grain, new wine, and oil, and the firstborn of your herds and flocks in the presence of the Lord your God at the place he will choose as a dwelling for his name, so that you may learn to fear the Lord your God. But if the distance is too great for you to carry that which is the Lord your God has blessed you, because the place where the Lord your God will choose to put his name is too far away. By the way, guys, before I go too much further, I just want to stop here. The passage we just read here in verses 18 about the flying insects. Now, I know Deuteronomy 14 is a shortened version of Leviticus 11. Okay, so Leviticus 11 will give you a more expounded list, and it actually goes into the idea of which insects can be eaten versus which flying insects cannot be eaten. So this is we've already gone through the Leviticus portions, but you're welcome to go back and check it. You also may have your Bible at home. I would strongly recommend learning all these books, but for one, specifically if you're trying to find a list, Deuteronomy 14 is kind of like a shortened summary, whereas Leviticus 19 goes into greater depth. Okay. So just as a quick idea. All the flying insects. Okay, verse 24. But if the distance is too great for you to carry that which the Lord your God has blessed you, because the place where the Lord your God will choose to put his name is too far away, then exchange it for money, take the money in your hand, and go to the place the Lord your God will choose. Then you may spend the money on anything you desire: cattle, sheep, wine, strong drink, or anything you wish. You are to feast there in the presence of the Lord your God and rejoice with your household. And do not neglect the Levites within your gates, since he has no portion or inheritance among you. At the end of every 3 years, bring a tenth of all your produce for that year and lay it up within your gates. Then the Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance among you, the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow within your gates may come and eat and be satisfied. And the Lord your God will bless you in all the work of your hands. Interesting, guys. Interesting. So the tithe is every 3 years, and that tenth of people's produce, not money, but produce, is given for the foreigner, fatherless, widow inside the cities to be distributed by the Levites, and also given to the Levites for food. So you mean it's not taken every week and used to build new gymnasiums and new youth centers? And that's interesting. But hey, that's what people do. I guess some churches do have it denoted on their envelopes whether you're giving a love offering for a building project or for an actual tithe. But ul- ultimately, those priests are not Levites, so why are they accepting a tithe? Huh? Interesting. I don't know. Interesting thought. That's guys. That's why we always say if you are blessed by what we do and you like what we're doing and you want to donate to the video description, it has places to donate to us to help us keep going. We're not Levites. We're not accepting a tithe. Okay, guys, that's a biblical concept that is dedicated and reserved for a specific people group that was anointed by the Father to receive that. We are not that. If you like what we're doing, we're just receiving love offerings from people to keep us going, right? Just kind of a Second Corinthians chapter 8 verse thing. So we're just not Levites. It's not a tithe, okay? But we really appreciate people's good heartedness for whatever love offering that Father puts in your heart, okay? And it definitely helps us keep doing this. It definitely does.